high regard. But I think Snille is one of the junglers where, if you ask most people, he'll always be in that sort of top 2, top 3. But enough of that, we're already here into picks and bans. Gangplank, immediately removed away from Londorf, is a champion he's very, very comfortable on. We're definitely a bit curious. You don't always see Gangplank's banned in the first phase.
It is. You give it a little bit more time in the Champion Select to actually take the Gangplank away. And then the Lee Sin. So getting heavily focused now on the jungle role, with the possibility of high impactful ganks. Xin Zhao again. So both junglers just getting the roster a little bit slim at this point.
Yeah, definitely so. Looking at Jarvan, looking at Viego as the final sort of remaining junglers here. Akali removed away, because of course we do know about how oppressive that current build is with the Chem Tank and the Monarch Embrace. And Gragas will be the final champion removed away from Stumpy, a champion he is very, very comfortable at playing. So Munster Rugby, all of those bans very much focused towards the top side. They say, all right, Jinx is up, we will take her quite comfortably. However, I will say Caitlyn has slipped through the draft, and I know for a fact Joppa does play the Caitlyn alongside Clocks on the Lux, so there's definitely an option they could go for to maybe punish this Jinx lane. Karma as well, same kind of vein. Maybe we do see it. Maybe we also see a jungler simply because they know that the AD carry pool isn't going to be pinched at all. It looks like they want to take up this Hecarim for Snille. And we've seen what Hecarims can do in Div 1, especially when they're followed up with a whole bunch of dive.
You also have the Thresh if you want to protect your AD carry. Oh, there we are. Hello.
Anyway, hi guys.
I was thinking about the Thresh, like to pair up with the Jinx to get some sort of protection. The Karma Caitlyn is amazing. Makes a lot of sense. Just push in the Jinx, take it away the comfortable laning phase. Let's see if Munster Rugby are looking into that. They're going to prioritize into the middle lane, getting the Corki that has been banned so far into this night. So in the mid lane, we already have the poke. We have the follow-up damage in the late game. And if you get the Rakan, you could switch the Karma to the top side and get the Caitlyn looks on the bot side and just counter it away. But obviously, that would be way too spicy for now.
Yeah, I think compositionally it'll maybe be a bit different or difficult to pull off. You'd have to maybe even lane Karma mid in some instances. But for now, Gwen will be the lock-in. Blind Gwen top in Stumpy Champion Pool. So probably looking at 2 top bans here. Not too interested in their bottom lane, which is definitely an interesting look for me. I'm really curious now what Joppa and Clocks, if this Karma isn't going to actually have in mind. But I would imagine, probably looking at some scaling picks. But I feel like, Akali and Gangplank are the kind of champions where you would normally ban on phase 2 if you locked in Gwen. So Urgot will be the first one. I think that definitely makes sense. Maybe you look towards a Jace as the additional ban here, as Ezreal is the response. Maybe, I would say probably a Felios if I'm Munster being here. It's one of the few champions that can kind of sort of match the range with the Calibrum, and of course the Ultimate to try and sort of have some kind of impact from a long distance out of the champions that are in the meta right now. You could also, of course, just go down the Jhin route for the bans for your Munster Rugby, but hey, they lock away the Jarvan, so not wanting to have to deal with that. Maybe looking at that mobile carry option for Joppa then.
The jungle pool is heavily focused, and I was thinking, like, are you going to leave the Caitlyn open? That is going to be massive. But no, Caitlyn is going to be the last ban of this rotation, and now you have to pick on something a little bit weird, or you have to at least give some information. Where's the top lane that you already know? Give us the mid laner or the AD carry. Do you want to save the AD carry pick for last? It's going to be Senna, the bot side. So Karma alongside Senna. We saw Senna on Division 1. It was first strike alongside with Eclipse. Will this actually be on lethal tempo and get your attack speed rolling in?
Yeah, I'm actually not too sure. Of course, Glacial was removed. I think it's 12.2, where we have, of course, the Glacial Augment sort of on the queue. I don't think that's on this patch. So, yeah, Rune choice definitely going to be very interesting to track what Joppa does. There's that Viego that we were talking about with the Jarvan, Xin, and the... It makes the most sense. And then we also get the set. So there's a bunch... for me, immediately from the get-go from Munster Rugby game, and there's a whole bunch of engage, yes, from the Rakan, but also I'm looking at the re-engage, snap re-engage. If they let Nativz come into them with that Hecarim pick, immediately throwing him back out of the settlement, and the Rakan following up and using him as a taxi is what I'm going to be the most scared of for Nativz here, as they're going to round out the draft with this Twisted Fate into the Corki. So looking to try and, leave this Corki in the mid lane to farm up, cheat some waves every now and again from Rayleigh, and then just sort of, Destiny Gate to a side lane wherever you can find the pressure. Will be that Karma Senna on the bottom side into this Rakan Jinx. I think you can definitely outrange, definitely sort of out-sustain as well. But, not too versed. I don't often see this center Karma, and it looks like actually, if they don't swap, Joppa's going to be the one piloting this Karma instead. Joppa, no stranger to running mages at all in the bottom side, but it will definitely be a new look for me to see him on this. But yeah, both drafts definitely, to me, Munster Rugby's a lot more identity to it. I think Nativz, you know, a little more all over the place. It's going to be sort of, can we get these individual leads and turn them into bigger macro leads?
And if she brings the first strike, if the Senna brings the first strike, that is going to be massive to get more gold, additional gold, and probably go for the Predator build-wise and get the lethality flowing in. And that allows the Karma to bring AP. And you know, when Karma gets the AP flowing in, not only the shields are massive, but also you get a lot of poke to fight off a little bit of the Corki. But obviously the Corki range is kind of bigger, let's put it this way. It's like the Chem Tank. It's marvelous to see inside of the Rift. But let's see what is going to happen, because this is also the first time we're going to get a look into Twisted Fate. Like in Division 1, we only saw it once. It was with Otto. 100% win rate, obviously, but it was a shaky one. So how will Relay be able to pull it off? I don't know.
Yeah, it seems like Twisted Fate, it's strange, right? Because the presence is so high, but his pick rate itself isn't actually anything to write home about. So as much as, yes, we love to talk about Twisted Fate, especially from the previous season, it's hard to really gauge where he is. I think it's just, he's not really changed too much. It's more about what's happening in the game and what kind of targets he has to actually, well, lock down and give value to his other teammates. Because I look at this Nativz draft and I say, there's not a whole bunch of damage here. There's not a whole bunch of scaling damage. Yes, you know, if Senna was in the AD carry role, then that statement is a little bit more off. But looking at potentially a Senna that's fasting, so what happens with the scaling damage here? You then look towards more the utility of what these champions can go for. The rapid fire gold cards, all of the shielding from Karma, of course, all of the healing from the Gwen and the Hecarim is what is more factored in. But against the more traditional Corki Jinx, you know, sort of comp, it's hard for me to look at the Nativz draft and say, yeah, I'm confident they can bring this one home just off the draft alone.
It's a hard one, because even if you want to engage, Seth can just pick
Yeah,
someone and
throw
say,
back out.
no, get out. And then you have the Haymaker and you can just demolish everybody. I'm a big Seth fan, by the way. I'm a JoJo fan, so you know I love that champion. I'm an otaku, you know that. You know
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So this should be the Rift, and there we go. Poke is going to start away. Let me see if I can fancy anything in terms of runes that is going to pop out. Lethal Tempo on Viego. I like it. And on the
Okay.
other side, it's not Lethal Tempo on the Gwen. It's actually Conqueror, the more stable one. I think she's looking for that long engage alongside with Set.
Yeah, I think there's an argument about sort of Lethal Tempo and Conqueror, especially since Lethal Tempo has been tweaked throughout the preseason. All attacks are very important in the early game, and the
Yeah.
fact that you could get so much attack speed, the thought process was, well, you're attacking more, even if you have less, adaptive force. If you have more attacks, it normally edges out in that regard. But Conqueror, I think, for Londorf makes a whole bunch of sense into Stumpy set. There's a little bit of poke will go into Murbs, and I expect this, right? There's a lot of outrange to be had here between Joppa and Clocks on the bottom side. Murbs might have a bit of a rough time. As you can see already, getting pretty heavily focused out from Joppa's end on this Karma. And it will be fasting Senna. It'll be the farming Karma instead. Senna, not a champion we always get to see, but definitely very strong. And I expect as well on 12-2, we see a whole bunch more of her next week in particular. Just because of how powerful that buff was, to the point I'm pretty sure they're actually almost reverting it or just entirely removing the buff. We'll have to see.
What about the souls? Yeah, you don't need that farm. You just need the souls. The souls is your items. You do get a lot of money though. I reckon she's going for the lethality build, because if you're bringing first strike and then not the lethal tempo, you don't need the attack speed. So you're going for that like one touch and just remove a massive amount of HP.
Yeah, exactly. Range scaling with that lethality, it just becomes very, very obnoxious poke.
Yeah.
We'll see how Clocks wants to build. Of course, Senna, one of those champions that kind of can build a lot. You know, I kind of put her in that same category almost as like Gangplank, where Gangplank, you go into every game, you're like, oh, I could do this, 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 or this. It just depends on what my team needs from me. Kind of same with Hecarim these days too. Hecarim can go full tank, can go more bruiser with the Divine Thunder, or just straight up carry as well with the Triforce. So I'd love to see what Snilly wants to build in a game like this. I would personally like to see Triforce come out of him. I think he needs to probably be the carry here. He's got the Conqueror as well, so I imagine that will be the item path for him. We'll see as things go on. But junglers both path towards the bottom side. I feel like it's Nativz that are going to be winning out on this priority war, so it should be Snille who picks up this Skull Crab as well on the bottom side. I don't think Viego will have much of an in there. As there you go, walks into the river. A couple of missing pings. Looks like he will give up on it, probably pathing down towards his Krugs. Or maybe eyeing up a bottom side gank here. Yoppa.
Flashes in, gets the knock up as well. Karma is in trouble, flashes away, gets the heal as well. And look, Hecarim is just leaving him to die. There's no way to help the bot lane. And that is a massive work coming in from Viego.
Yeah, massive work coming in from Viego. Just reads the positioning of Yoppa. Knows that he's just overstepping just that touch. And Snille not able to punish. I want to say he probably used his devastating charge, the E, to knock the Skull Crab shield off. So no immediate pressure to be had from a Hecarim gank like that. Does look, of course, a little bit perplexing. You see your jungler sort of run away from you. What are you doing, man? Come help me. But no, I think probably made the right call. Yoppa was always going to die there, and I'm not too sure whether or not a return kill would have been had. A lot of damage between those three champions, and Viego on a reset. So first blood, drawn by Munster Rugby. Good read from the jungler. And let's see what you can do with that kill. Did pick up the first blood.
That is an instant chin, so the damage output is now ridiculous. He can go to any lane and be massive. Looking into the mid lane as well, Twisted Fate probably has to go back after this wave, use the teleport to go back, or at least try to get the level 6 before the first recall, get the Destiny in, and probably go into the mid side, and eventually try to swap some of their spells at this point. But I think this is a big window for Gaboesh to actually use that Sheen offensively and try to steal away some of their spells, or at least just get another kill rolling in for the team.
Yeah, definitely wants to find somewhere. Maybe the top side, because he is there right now. I think Stumpy could be hitting 6 on this wave, so it could be an angle, but Munster Rugby, looking at Ryle, they know, even with flash, it's a pretty easy dive.
Palu, level 3, is getting really squishy, pulls the other to the turret. He's not capable of getting the kill. Chimera now trying to run away. There's no Valkyrie to pull him away, so the flash is going to be used. On the other night, Snille is not capable of following through. So 2 kills, good rotation from the bot lane, and really is going to get punished before the Destiny play.
Yeah, exactly. No Destiny just yet. Teleports back to lane, but now this is the kind of window where maybe you can make something happen, because Chimera's probably going to have to teleport towards the mid lane. If really can't hit level 6 on this wave, then it might be a little bit difficult. Let's see, shoving. He does hit 6 now. A very small window where maybe he could go and attack the top side, but looks like he's more interested in the wave that's just come in.
He's going to get ganked again.
Yeah, I mean, Gaboesh is hit. Didn't blow flash on the dive, crucially though. So if he is truly scared, he can just flash.
It is a blue card. It is a blue death. The flash is available. Will you use it? There you go. Meanwhile, Seth is going on the other side. He fancied the kill, but he doesn't want it. And this is a way to shut down the Twisted Fate.
Absolutely.
So instead of getting the ganked, like, I'm waiting for Twisted Fate to come in. No, you go to Twisted Fate.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's one of the strategies you see when you play against the Shen, right? If you can't play towards the bottom side because Shen has that stand united, just go and attack him. Just go and bully him if you have the matchup and the numbers and the resources and you're capable of doing it. Something you see quite frequently is Gaboesh now. Just barely showed. Doesn't have smite though, so can't really contest that. Chicken camp. Let's go with the Snille. Snille accruing a relatively sizable lead here, as Chimera really putting a number into Irelia here. But I mean, has had so much help so far that now should have a whole bunch of control in the mid lane, and hopefully once he gets that package as well, we'll start to have a little more side lane impact. We'll be matched by that Twisted Fate, but for now, a lot faster on the tempo through these side lanes and the rotations if he wants them. Gonna get a cheeky little reset off though.
The blades are still available. No one so far was able to touch it. Joppa alone on the bot side trying to farm it away, while Senna just getting that rotation. So those are souls that are going to be lost. That is scaling that the Senna is not getting access into. As I'm trying to still figure out what sort of build the Senna is going to go, and you only have access to the sword. It's not enough to get some sort of information regarding what is going to happen in the late. Iron Spike Whip is already locked into the top side, so there is a little bit of advantage to face off versus Lundorf. And if Seth is capable of just farming away as well, this is going to be another hardship that Nativz have to deal with. So far, in my opinion, Munster Rugby are just taking control of the entire map of rotations and getting Nativz out of guard.
Yeah, and it's just been a very clean game from Munster. Whether it's been the rotations towards the mid lane to shut down this Twisted Fate, whether it's been the gank on the bottom side, So far, really in sync with one another. And this Herald take looking awfully clean, honestly. I don't even think they'll lose any resources anywhere for this Herald take either. And Nativz right now just realistically sat on their hands. There's not too much they can really do about these rotations from Munster. Lose a little bit of XP from the top side, but honestly, nothing really you're going to sneer at.
Because if you look into the bot side, Jinx was left, Karma was left alone. Jinx went for the rotation, and she's still tied up in terms of
Still got the wave, so it's very clean play from Munster. I applaud them for that. I'm starting to worry a little bit for Nativz, even though we're only 9 minutes in. It's more because of the more unorthodox draft that we've seen from them, and the very stable, Corki, Jinx, frontline engage, re-engage comp that we have from Munster, where, as soon as Merbs and Chimera hit their iron spikes, the game kind of just plays itself. You just play around the Hecarim, you don't get dived on too hard, and you're always going to have the peel of the set of the Rakan to keep you alive. Nativz, I just don't see how they play out these later game team fights once those carries come online, so they have to find something somewhere. And this is kind of what I want to see here. If they can find Blue, it can be something, but so mobile.
Rooted is forced to use his ultimate, probably getting some sort of movement speed with the quickness. Clock's getting shut down. The barrier is not enough to stop it away. And now he's getting the souls for himself. Probably using the reset city to get Twisted Fight. Here comes the Corki. Getting all the package in and getting the damage as well. Snille getting way too low. Misses the missile. Here comes the big one. Super Mega Death Rocket. Just like the end of Arcane.
Yeah, I mean, Jinx, she says to Corki, don't worry, you missed your big one. I won't miss mine. Finds the target underneath the tower. And that will be the Snille. Hecarim going down. Can turn that one into a Dragon. Gaboesh is coming out of base, but I think could have the time. Maybe resets. Take it a little bit slower. But a very successful skirmish from Munster Rugby game. And we were talking about, that's the kind of pick that Nativz maybe have to try and find, right? But Baloo just says, I'm getting picked. No, you're getting picked. I'm the one that's going to have numbers here very quickly. And they turn it into 4 kills off the back of what felt like pretty much nothing. Nativz just looking for a pick in Munster Rugby's jungle.
And the movement speed, Karma helps on that situation. And this is a massive game from Gaboesh as well. Dragons-wise, nobody's looking into the Infernal.
Yeah, Infernal. So, we're rolling good, potentially, for more of those new Dragons. As Blue gets rooted up, not for too long, and he just says, well, Gaboesh is right here. I'm going to go in. And Gaboesh goes immediately in with the Heartbreaker, and then chase down onto Clocks is just magnificent. Finds the route onto Riley, and yeah, does definitely go a little bit too deep, but Chimera is here to clean up, and you can see how much damage he's doing. Snille just barely walks in to the package, and you can see Merbs sees Chimera's big one. His one misses, mine will not. Picks up the kill on to the Nativz jungler. Finds himself double buffs as well. Nice little kill, and that's just gold into the Hyperscaler's back pocket. Gale Force 201 at 11 minutes. It's really not what you want to see if you're brewing for Nativz here to win. Definitely need to try and find some kind of avenue.
It's way too early to see this sort of advantage, and now you're looking into catching up. Like Nativz game is just catching up. So far, Destiny has been used 0 times.
Yeah, that's a pretty big point of contention, right? If you can't use the Destiny Gate very early on, then there is, usually something going wrong. I'm not sure about you, Akram. My feet's frozen.
It is?
Okay. All right. Glad I'm not alone on that one.
Mine is good.
Yours good. Oh, boy.
Yeah, so I'm going to follow it through because they're looking into the T1 in the mid side because they have the adult popping in. Some souls out on the ground, but I don't think that's enough. There we go. Headshot. And it's still not enough. So the tower survives to live another day, but the platings are going in for the carries that they need. Chimera already getting some items at the X Trinket as well, so Corki is going to get a little bit more tankier towards Lundorf or even Relay or Joppa when he gets a few items. Although Joppa is going for the more supportive Karma. And as soon as you're with me again, Jamada, just hit me up.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm here.
There we go,
Don't worry. It's not...
Destiny!
Destiny, it's been cast! Where's he going to port to? He's got the gold card locked. He's going to find Gaboosh. It's Gaboosh, by the way. Just been contacted by somebody at Munster.
Gaboosh?
Yeah, it's Gaboosh. Don't worry.
Nah, Gaboosh. Okay, thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Seriously, every single name we get wrong, just hit us.
Yeah.
Go on social media. Follow us, by the way. And then hit us with the correction. Gaboosh. I got it.
Got to get the plugs in. But yes. Riley doesn't find anything, though, off that Destiny Gate. He cast it 12 minutes into the game. not able to lock down anybody. Gaboosh just kind of walks out pretty lackadaisically. And now, I mean, looking at the items, they're starting to slowly come in. You picked on, it's going to be more of a supportive build from Yoppa. Coming in here as, oh my goodness, that is some damage.
He's using the W way too soon.
Yeah, definitely a curious time to press it. Maybe a misclick.
No, it's the third time.
It's the third time. Well,
yeah, that's why I'm saying like that soon.
Sometimes you just don't press buttons the way you should do. And it's League of Legends for you, unfortunately. But tower plates will fall off. Herald will be spawning pretty soon, as I'm assuming Herald was dropped
on the mid lane.
My feed was out. Okay, so mid lane, that's where it went. And because I didn't get to see Arkarum, who did the plates go on to? I'm assuming obviously Gaboosh, Chimera.
It was, I think even Merbs was around. So
Even
if you look
Merbs,
into the gold, look at that.
Yeah, I mean, whew,
there's a big distance.
Yeah, there's a massive gold difference. Especially, you know, you think about TF has the gold passive, right? To come back, so, you know, you sort of do the rough maths. Each CS is kind of worth an extra 3 gold. The fact that he still finds himself almost 1,000 gold down kind of speaks to how accelerated Chimera is at the moment, too. Yeah, Nativz really struggling to find a true angle to get themselves into this game. It's really only Londorf that's held his own, but unfortunately Nativz haven't even really played into him, so for now, left sort of scratching their heads at where they can actually find an avenue. And again, it's where I sort of, you know, revert back to talking about the draft just briefly. Where does the damage come from? It's all about kind of, you know, Snille, Lundorf, and then all of the utility around the gold cards and the karma, yes. But it's going to take so long to get to that point where, you know, you feel comfortable taking team fights like that. But at that point, you're dealing with Gorky, you're dealing with Jinx at 2 items. It's such a scary concept, and it's always going to be Munster Rugby that have these stronger re-engage tools as well. I think Nativz in a much bigger hole than this 2,000 gold deficit actually illustrates.
This could be a turnaround, at least getting Chimera.
Yeah, they're looking.
Be a good one. Oh, Unstoppable Onslaught gets the root as well, because the fear brings him right into the kicker. There's going to be a kill for the Hecarim, who built the Trinity Force, as you pointed out.
Yeah, and I think definitely needed in this kind of game as the Hecarim. You don't really have, you know, a true traditional AD carry. You need to be the carry, and you've got the karma, you've got the Senna shielding and healing. Probably looking at something like
Destiny.
So Destiny Gate is pulled, but this one is going to be more about information, it seems like, as Munster losing Chimera, not going to be able to contest this dragon.
Oh no.
And oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no, Arkarum.
No!
It's happened again.
We have been cursed. Oh no!
Oh no!
I can't look at it!
Oh, it just feels so wrong now.
Yeah.
What a strange, like, I don't know about you. I've played League of Legends coming up on 8 years now. I don't think I've ever seen Riot like straight up backpedal on a design choice like a dragon.
You know, that actually speaks really loud to me that you're listening.
Funnily enough, our producer just said in our ear, LeBlanc's rework, and you know what? I kind of agree. It did take a while though. I feel like LeBlanc sat like that for a solid season. This was
really fast.
Yeah, this was really quick as Herald drops in the top side, gets the charge in the top tier 1, looking for the tier 2 as well. Munster Rugby, they're really, really strong, but the numbers are here for Nativz, and so is the wave clear. And that's a whole bunch of souls. Look at Soul City.
Use the Q!
Yeah,
Thank you!
Maybe he didn't have it. Maybe it was on cooldown still.
My OCD was killing me. Like, use the
Oh, man. But, yeah, so tower taken in the top side. I actually think Lundorf picked up the bot tier 1 too for himself, so will at least pocket that. And again, the Gwen, the only strong point so far for Nativz, but they've not really been able to play around them. Snille does find himself 2-on-1, does have 2 of the kills on the board for Nativz, but we have to see him, you know, actually find a successful engage. But again, his job as what is realistically the primary engager in this team comp is so difficult, because you just get thrown back out by Stumpy and you get used as a taxi effectively for Blue to then go into your own backline. I don't know how Nativz played this game out. Realistically, it's so hard for me to get my head around it. Munster Rugby, they're really gonna have to blunder heavily. They're really gonna have to be caught with their pants down. Realistically, really split up in places where they shouldn't be. for Snidley to just kind of find assassinations. Otherwise, I feel like Munster, they can just play this game out and let the draft play itself. And this is the kind of thing I was talking about, Stumpy by himself.
But it's only Stumpy, and he's so tanky, so they have to put the focus on the other side. Meanwhile, Snidley is forced to just run away on the Hackerem. It's not enough damage to actually get any sort of kill. Finally, Gabush is going to get the shut down. Here comes the Gwen just doing tons of damage. They get 2 kills out of nowhere, where they can use this lead.
Yeah, there you go. It looks like where they're going to use this lead potentially is the mid lane. Gold card locked from Ral just to sort of zone out here. The wave clear, however, is there from Chimera with the long-range rockets and that Haymaker, so it's not going to result in that mid-tier 1, but that's what Nativz have to do. They have to try and, as much as I hate to say it, they have to use the Chem Fog.
Yeah, I was thinking about it.
They have to just try their best, you know, whenever they feel like Munster Rugby, they're in the middle of rotations, pull that Destiny Gate, use the information to try and pick a target to just catch off their rotation and just full send it. Just throw the kitchen sink at the wall. I don't think that's quite the... Actually, no, that is the same. I'm pretty sure. If it isn't, well, you know, English should be like that sometimes.
Oh, Umbra Glaive. Look at the item of Clock.
Okay.
So you need the damage on the Senna, and you win for the utility first item.
Yeah, okay. So W utility will come out from Clocks and Dropper. I mean, it's... Yeah, I'm not sure how much I like it, if you could maybe gauge from my reaction. But at the same time, it's fasting Senna, so the income isn't exactly, you know, crazy high. And I think
can
in
we look
Fog
how
as
many
well.
souls we have? I'd
Yeah,
like
actually,
to see.
read.
We're sitting at 60.
Yeah, if nothing here is happening, if we could get a look at Senna souls.
No, that's the money. We need to
Yeah.
click on Senna. Click. No, that's
got
rock
it.
on. There we go.
We got
60
it.
souls.
All right. 60 souls, which
Thank you for the prediction.
60 at 20 minutes.
As a fasting Senna.
I feel like
Yeah.
it's low. Yeah, I'm
It
pretty
is,
sure that's on the low end for sure. I think normally by 20 you're looking at sort of like 80 to 85,
80.
right? Yeah, that's like normally where you want to be. As Chimera really posturing aggressively. Oh, it's a dive on the left side.
Destiny is used, but the enemy team is on your face, so you don't need to teleport anywhere. Chimera is just running away. Meanwhile, Lundorf is getting all the distance in. The Caesars are activated, and Stumpy is alone on the top side, so Snidley is still passing this kill. But the problem is, if you get the kill, what can you transition into? There's no dragon, so better play it safe.
Yeah, it looks like Munster, they were looking to eye up the Twisted Fate on the bottom side, but he had coverage there. Destiny Gate as well gives them all the information to play that one out as defensive as they can. Issue is they blew some pretty important ultimates. Destiny Gate, Hecarim ultimate too. Murbs maybe split off from the rest of the team here.
Running over to Jinx, Gale Force has been used, and now Stumpy is the gatekeeper, pushes the horse, he's trying to take him down. Jinx doesn't have enough damage, it's going to be the ultimate, the showstopper, the punch in the face of the horse. And finally able to take the jungler down before the dragon appears.
Yeah, before the dragon appears, Lundorf now lying in wait
Sneaky.
in the fog. Sneaky, doing his best Twitch impression here as he's gonna find Gabush.
Oh, he went AFK. That's a Morgana Q if I ever seen. Followed up. They're going to get Stumpy. That is a massive W, but it's not pointed to the right target, which means it's a double kill. And the only member that was winning the lane is now turning the game. But there's a package on Chimera.
Yeah, package on Chimera is really, really scary. We'll say though, he's only Muramana and a bunch of iron components. So yes, he is strong. Yes, he deals a lot of damage, but it's not that crazy, you know, 3/4 HP burst damage off of a full combo that we see later on in towards the game. Though if he finds his way onto Clocks, Clocks is a very, very squishy setup.
But that is a garage sale and quirky, like you have a little bit of everything.
Exactly. So right now, not quite strong enough, and this will just be Nativz picking up another dragon. And I will say, despite Munster's very stellar early game, definitely some slip-ups here in the mid-game, giving Nativz a way back in. I think Nativz definitely doing a good job, or the best kind of job they can really at capitalizing on these mid-game errors from Munster. And if the fight stays sloppy, if you know you see Lundorf actually gain access to the back line, and we see Snidley also follow up with him, then yes, maybe it can work here for Nativz. But I still really feel like Munster, their draft, it can carry them through, but they have to pull things together. They have to stop being caught off guard here by these very silly rotations, or not quite, you know, doing the buddy system, even if it's as simple as you know, sticking with each other like this, actually, as you see, Gabush and Blue buddying up together. As long as they're together like that, picks will be very, very difficult for Nativz to find. So a little bit more discipline from the Munster side, and they'll be happy with it. Nativz, they want to try and keep the game scrappy.
This is a really good adaptation from the team. the way they were never together, as you were pointing out. And now eventually they're finally able to play together. On the other side, though, Munster are committing the mistakes that the enemy team Nativz were committing on the beginning of the game. There we go. This is the lockdown capability. Lundorf is not capable of snipping away. And Snille doesn't have to follow up. Rapid fire cannon doesn't give you that much range. You're not a Senna.
Yeah, I'm really surprised Snille didn't just send it there. I feel like Triforce damage, 400 HP, you'd probably kill Chimera and R out there, but hey, doesn't want to risk it. Feels like he might get caught underneath the tower. Definitely respect the safer play. But that will be ultimates blown, and that's going to be a nice window where Munster kind of get to do whatever they want with the map for the most part. They know Destiny Gate isn't going to be a massive threat, and there's going to be no railgun from downtown. And they walk into a bit of a stalemate here.
It's a farming game at this point, and this is time for the Senna to just build itself up. Obviously, you have the Jinx. Obviously, you have the Corki, so the late game will never be off your hands. If you can get enough souls for the Senna, if Gwen is capable of getting those 3 items, Snille will also be one of those targets that are dealing so much damage, but tanky as well. I know both teams have a lot of scaling, but I cannot take away my eyes of the Corki alongside with the Jinx.
Yeah, it's very, very difficult.
Yeah.
To match that level of scaling. You really, you start talking about the level 16 champs at that point, right?
Yeah.
Where, it just comes to a point where you can't deal with them. Kassadin, KO, things like that when you talk about trying to match scaling. And when it comes to something like Corki, there's not too many champions in the AD carry role that outright outscale Jinx these days. Barring, of course, the infinitely scaling Senna, but don't really see Senna in the AD carry role unless you're on 12-2, which I'm expecting we will see a whole bunch of her next week. But even that will be short-lived. So, Munster, whilst we have this stalemate, trying to set up camp towards the bottom side, but they don't even have, it seems like, vision towards that top side. There's a missing ping went out onto the Baron.
They don't have the vision. I reckon they don't have it on the Baron, so yeah, they need to go there, but the wards have been used, and they want to keep these control wards. Yeah.
Ah, okay. A blue, but it's actually not clipping vision on the Baron, which is kind of funny. There would there's a genuine possibility that
they could be doing the Baron and nobody would know.
You could imagine.
Yeah.
Nativz could fully be on the backside of that Baron doing it.
I mean, you would see the animation or probably like the small.
Yeah, but you'd have to be screening over the Baron, and that's
yeah. Weird smart positioning. Let's call it this way.
Yeah. There you go.
Meanwhile, 2 items for Corki. Looking for the 3rd one already. I don't know if he's going to complete the Maul Mortis instead of going for the Ravenous Hydra, but the damage is there. In the gold, I mean, Twisted Fate is coming up as well, but if you look into the bot side, if you look into Jinx, 10,000 gold. Looking for 11,000, she's going to pop off just right now. On the other side, it's 8,000 for the supportive character.
Yeah, I mean, like, when it comes to these fasting center lanes, you kind of have to add both gold values up, right? Between Joppa, between Clocks, and then between Balu and Merbs. But even then, still a relatively significant lead for the Munster Rugby bottom side. Realistically, the only thing that's keeping Nativz afloat in terms of the gold difference, I'm pretty sure, is mostly kind of just that top jungle role right now. Snille was really able to farm up a massive Storm, and Lundorf as well has been pretty much up on his counterpart in Stumping for a very, very long time. So again, the strong members, they can find their ways onto the carries. Massive dive threats, but again, so much pill from Munster Rugby Gaming. That's what the game's all going to be about now. Whether or not Nativz can find access onto Merbs, onto Chimera, and whether or not Munster Rugby can find those re-engages if Nativz actually go for a more frontal approach as actually starting up the Baron. So they want to try and bring Munster into them.
Corki.
Yeah.
You got courage, I'll give you that.
Yeah. Let's see. I mean,
yeah,
they're just kind of burning time right now. I think that's the important thing, because Chimera's package is going to run out relatively soon. You don't actually get a timer on the HUD. That's interesting.
They're split up. Okay, you have 1 minute. It should be over in a few seconds. Oh, that's a massive one.
Okay. Fortunately, there is healing and shielding between Clocks. Well, just off of Clocks, but my goodness, that's a whole bunch of burst damage that you're not always going to be able to heal up. Destiny Gate pulled because they saw Jinx was the one that picked up that Dragon.
Yellow card!
They might go for it.
Stumpy gets the shield, but still not enough. He's forced to flash away. There we go. Statics popped off as well. Really trying to get another one. for the rapid fire cannon, but the missiles are on the ready. And if Chimera is capable of getting a big one, there we go. He has it on the ready. Booyah! Get out of town, really. They're forcing him away from T2. They want the dragon as well, so that Baron does provide nothing for the team of Nativz.
Nativz not able to really make anything of that Baron dance attempt, startup thing, whatever you want to call it. Gaboosh, they pick up the dragon, they force them away, and they also get the mid-tier too. So pretty much all positives for the Irish organization as Reset comes in, and that's going to be the Infinity Edge picked up now for Jinx. And what a very, very scary prospect it is now to fight into a 3.5 item Jinx and a Corki who, whilst, you know, might only have 2 full items, doesn't seem to matter. They're just pumping out the damage. All those big rockets are, as you've seen, pretty harmful. And when you're talking about only really having clocks to sustain, you know, that Q, the Piercing Light, or the Piercing Darkness, I think it's actually called, doesn't have, you know, the shortest of cooldowns. You have to be autoing quite actively to bring that cooldown to a manageable level where you can actually give a good amount of sustain to your team. It's going to be very, very potent. I love that poke. And again, if full-on team fight breaks out where Merbs, actually has to both Gale Force and Cleanse, is able to freely auto attack, I think it might be lights out for Nativz.
I'd like to see the Senna again, because we're now reaching the 10-minute mark before.
Yeah.
There we go. 100 and okay. He shot off. Okay.
Yeah. He shot up a little bit.
Yeah. 120 to me is the mark where you feel comfortable as an AD carry.
It's because you have to remember as well, because they did nerf the amount of stacks it takes. It's now 25 instead of 20. I think the number might be a bit higher. It might be 150. I think is where you sort of like get that old, really crazy spike. So still a little whiles away from that, but still definitely very strong. As Stumpy being found out by Lundorf. Destiny Gate 2.
Uses the red buff just to get the stun, but now turns the attention towards another target, which is the Jinx. The lockdown is perfect. It really gets the kill, but now flushes away just to run away. There we go, Kim Dragon just saving the Twisted Fight while Lundorf is on the rampage. This guy's snipping everybody.
Lundorf is cutting Munster Rugby Gaming's chances of winning this game in half at the moment, as he finds Gaboosh and Stumpy with the help of his mid laner and almost one-shots Merbs with one cast of the Snip. Absolutely insane damage coming out of the Gwen, and he's going into Death Cap third as well, it looks like. So much damage going to be coming out of that Gwen very, very soon, and that's a free Baron pickup. And we said, right, yes, the Munster Rugby Gaming draft, I mostly prefer it a lot. It drives itself pretty freely, as Jinx Rocket not going to connect.
Oof, there's the damage from the Corgis looking for the Senna. The barrier was popped just to survive, and Lundorf gets another one. Here comes the Horsey, trying to get another one, really trying to look for the yellow card. Weapon Fire Cannon is going to proc in a few seconds. Does he have enough movement speed? No, he doesn't, but Lundorf doesn't care. That scissor is amazing, and he's doing such a wonderful job for the team.
Yeah, I mean, my goodness, Lundorf is putting on an absolute show on this Gwen. Pretty much solo carrying Nativz into the opportunity to take down Munster here. It's been a very, very close game throughout. Munster definitely had a stronger hold of the game, if you were to ask me. But Nativz really using the utility of this draft excellently. All of the gold cards, and I mean, more crucially, the damage coming out of Lundorf. It's absolutely bonkers. I mean, get a look at this. Even this is a tank. This is the frontliner, but look what he does to Merbs. I mean,
he flashed away in the middle of the needles.
Flashed away before the snip came out. If the snip came out, that is one dead as hell Jinx, as Stumpy not able to stand up to that much damage. You know, Chimera comes in here, but right on top of Lundorf. Snip. All your HP is gone.
Oh my.
It's absolutely absurd. And now Baron buff in Nativ's back pocket. Have the opportunity to end here.
Can I point out
that this dragon?
Rabadons is now available, so the damage is going to be ludicrous. He's going to pick it up, knock him down, but the damage is just not there. Even though the package has been used, he's going to get burned down. Uses the double. This is the real. He doesn't care. He gets the steps in. Looking for the double kill, looking for the triples, not able to do it. But meanwhile, in the middle of the map, they're just pushing it in.
What the heck is that? And the Senna Ulm, I think, actually interrupts Chimera as well. Almost kills him off. This could just be the game right here. There's not too much way to play. It didn't stop Jinx, though. That's the crucial thing. So they can go back, get the dragon. But, oh my god, Lundorf is just he's just unkillable. cannot take that man down without what seems like the entire team. I mean, he just proved the feat right there.
Yeah.
1v5 takes 2 with him. And you feel like if it goes any more his way, he takes even more. Absolutely crazy. We're gonna get a replay, and I mean, just look at the damage. I mean, Munster Rugby Gaming so confident that they're the ones that are, you know, finding this pick, but I honestly think it's the settlement which just brings him a little bit further out from some of the core members that need to get the damage down as well, which ends up working in Lundorf's favor. The root doesn't quite land from the Jinx either, and it just gives him a little more freedom to move around and find a little bit of extra damage. But the healing from the Riftmaker, it's just so insane coming out here from Lundorf. And I mean, snip, snip, snip. Finds the Rakan. Yes, you know, he finds some of the squishier members to his own damage. But the fact that he's able to find 2 people in a 1v5, it's ludicrous.
Getting 1v5 versus a Kawaii champion. That doesn't feel good, man.
Doesn't even have, actually, wait, even worse. Wait. If nothing's happening, Reed, where's Gwen? Does she have the Cafe Cutie skin on?
Oh no.
It's the ultimate Kawaii. Yeah, okay. Alright. Well.
Kawaii desu ne. If you get the 1v5, this is not what you want to see.
Hontoni kawaii desu. That's Lundorf for you. With the Gwen skin. Yeah, it's not looking very balanced. That's what I'm saying. If Gwen can make it to that Zhonya's as well, then we're just going to see repeats of that.
Yeah.
We're just going to see rollovers of that. And what's even scarier to think is there just wasn't any backup. You know, it was just a true 1v5.
And the package as well.
Yeah, with a package on top of it. It's absolutely absurd. Only really, I feel like Chimera is the closest in sort of scaling to being able to take Lundorf down. You can see even, you know, chip damage of a Q. It was a lot of damage onto Lundorf, but I mean, Lundorf kind of just returns that in kind. So,
but at this point, they finally built in Grievous Wounds. This is exactly what they needed on the previous fight, and I don't think they had it until Rakan showed up. So that sustain needs to go down fast.
Yeah, if, you know, I think with the sustain being cut in half, because the thing about Gwen sustain is it's not, and I'm biting my tongue as I say this, it's not that high compared to other champions where you see these massive bursts of, you know, Gore Drinker healing, or, you know, if you're not seeing these massive chunks of like 700, 800, 900 HP being returned back to you every single cast. It's kind of close to more consistent, you know, bursts of 200, 300, 400. But cutting that down in half, or, you know, 40%, definitely makes a lot of impact there. As you saw, I mean, Gwen survived multiple times on sort of like 400, 300 HP, but was able to recast. So Grievous Wounds will definitely help that kind of circumstance out if they find themselves in another 1v5. I mean, honestly, Lundorf is doing the very perfect, I'm not locked in here with you, you're locked in here with me cosplay.
I would like to see the souls again. Like, we're reaching the 36-minute mark, so yeah, we should be hitting the 150 at this point.
Yeah, I would wager 135, maybe. I feel like Fox hasn't been around too many.
I would say 140 at this point.
140?
Nah.
It's been almost 10 minutes. It's been almost 10 minutes, yeah.
Show me the souls production. Okay, there we go. This is going to be another fight. Oh, deletes him on the bot lane. There we go. Lundorf doing Lundorf things. There's no way to deal with him. Gabush is now going to get Gabuch, and they're going to just pile on him and take him down. Super Mega Death Rocket's not going to mean anything. The cleanse is perfect, and the poke from far away is not doing enough, as finally the Mega Boss joins the team to finish it up.
Yeah, it's just the carries left alive for Munster Rugby Gaming. Rapid Fire Cannon, Gold Card, forces the flash out. The package is here, but I mean, it's going to have to be an absolute miracle.
It's just not enough, Jamada. They don't care. They're just trying to kill Lundorf. The snip is enough to take him down. At the same time, they take down the Nexus. Ooh.
I'm going to say it. That was maybe the most oppressive Gwen performance I think I've seen on a competitive stage. That was absolutely absurd. Hats off to you, Lundorf, for that performance. Because I was saying it throughout the game. I was concerned for Nativz and their draft. I felt like it couldn't necessarily stand up to the levels of damage and simplicity that Munsters offered. And it was all about how they used the utility out of the bottom side and how they used what damage they did have from Gwen and what they did have from Hecarim. And Lundorf just said, "What Hecarim? I am the damage." And he just carried it from pretty much 20 minutes onwards. Absolutely insane performance, and it brings Nativz their first win of the split against Munster Rugby, who are, you know, considered as well up there in the table as sort of those very highly anticipated rosters.
We were looking, we were expecting chaos, and we got chaos. We got
Yeah.
massive disruption. A team with such a big lead, and only a Gwen stepping in, allowing the enemy, like allowing his team to just go back on stage again. Because at one point we saw the team like, okay, 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 we still have a shot, and mentally, everyone's just recovered. Like, okay, let's fight it off, and they got the win. Like, this is an amazing performance from Lundorf. Uh, I don't know who's going to be the interview. Okay, I have the names now. It's not Lundorf. I'm sad.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sad. But hey, we're gonna kick it away to a break, and I'll see you soon.